Hi guys, it's Afenze and I'm coming at you with cheekbones, high vibrations, and today I want to talk about what I love about living in Kenya. I had so many intentions for this channel last year when we moved. So essentially we moved to Kenya in July last year, which is July 2021. And we have been here for a year and a bit. The baby was born here and she's been here only, and it's just been like a really great time. I initially came here for work, but now I'm here for studying and just living because it's a really great country, and I've got a couple of reasons why. So grab yourself a drink. Okay, I have mine over here. It is very much related to my t-shirt. It's not the same brand though. So this t-shirt is Stimela. I forgot the name of the brand. All I know is that I bought it from Carrefour. The guy that was in the store was a really great salesman, and this is a local brand. So I was just like, hey, buy black, support, do all the good things. So as I take a sip on my drink, let me share with you some of the things that I love about living in Kenya. So, for people that don't know, Kenya is a country in Africa, in East Africa. I am originally from South Africa. So Kenya is an equatorial country. If you don't know where Kenya is, guys, you're on YouTube, just Google it, okay? Thank you. Bye. So Kenya is actually one of the biggest economies in Africa. I've got a feeling that it's the third biggest. I really haven't checked the statistics and stuff like that. I think South Africa and Nigeria are gunning for first position and second position, somewhere there, then Kenya. So most companies, whenever they open up offices, generally they'll start in South Africa, then do Nigeria or Kenya Nigeria type of thing, and then the rest of Africa. That's how it's normally done by these global multinationals. And the company that I was working for had deployed me to start the Kenya office in July of last year. So I did, and it's been great, and so I've enjoyed my stay. There were some things that were like a bit of a culture shock, and of course comes with the territory because you're in a new place and you've never seen certain things or never tasted certain foods or all of that. So yeah, but then I just want to share with you the things that I love about being here, the things that even though my contract ended at my company, I continued to stay here because it's good. I love Kenya, guys, and these are the reasons why. So reason number one, I kind of share it with my husband. The weather here, I love the weather. So it's generally like very mild. It's not super hot or super cold or super anything. The previous apartment that we were living in, though, I will speak the truth, it was cold. That apartment was cold, and it was cold because it was built between two really tall buildings, and there was hardly any sun that came in. But the weather outside is generally very mild. I think it ranges between like 23 degrees to about 25, 27, somewhere there most days, right? Of course, the weather in Nairobi is also quite moody. It's kind of like Cape Town in a sense that you can get out in the morning thinking it is going to be a super, super warm day, and then boom, the opposite happens, or you think it's going to be cold and you're wearing your jacket, and then the weather tends to be mild, but it is also quite erratic. So it's one of the things that I do like about the place, but to be totally honest, I am a coast girl, okay? So I am very much a Mombasa girl, even though it's like unbelievably hot and there's mosquitoes. At least here there's not that many mosquitoes because it's not that hot, okay? Number two, most of the people here speak English. It's an English-speaking country, so it's very easy to navigate. Like, it's very easy to be a tourist around here, and I really found that super, super comforting for me because, you know, I came here by myself initially. My husband only joined me 3 months later, and you know, I just really wanted to get to know the space, and I really wanted to get to learn different things and travel and do all the cool things. And the fact that I speak English and most people around here speak English really was hugely beneficial. And it's most people, hey, like even vendors. I am in Nairobi, okay, granted, I'm not in like a very small town there somewhere, but you know, most people in Nairobi do speak English. Another thing that I like about Nairobi is that it's like calm, okay? It's like super chill. It's not super fast paced, but also it's not backward and like brutal and super slow. It's like got the perfect pace. There are hustlers, people are moving, people are making things happen, but it isn't as frantic in energy as Johannesburg. And it isn't as sleepy in energy as in Bangani, where I grew up in KwaZulu-Natal, Durban. And just in general, like, oh, man. I enjoy this place because you feel like you can hustle and you can, you know, make things happen, but you don't feel hella pressurized to do it and to show off to your peers or whatever. At least I don't feel it, okay? I'm just saying this is my experience. Of course, everybody's perception is their reality. There are, I'm 100% sure, people that are living here in Nairobi that feel like, oh my god, the pressure is too much, I can't. There are people that are living like that, and it's okay. That is their story. But I personally don't feel super pressurized by living in here. Another thing I really love about being in Kenya in general is that it's like black people are living here. Being black is not a disadvantage. Obviously, I'm not saying that white privilege doesn't take precedence over here or doesn't happen for people around here, but it's not a thing to be like, you don't have to impress a bunch of white people in order to be able to make it in corporate or even in any other spaces in business and all of that. It's not a disability or a disadvantage to be black. There's other things that people measure you by, and it's not the color of your skin. Yeah, and I really love that. And also, like, I mean, okay, so you know that I'm pursuing, maybe you don't, I'm pursuing my master's over here, and all my lecturers are black, and actually all the faculty members are black. And it's like, educational spaces are not dominated by whiteness. It's, the culture is in corporate is not dominated by whiteness. I mean, it's really beautiful for me to watch. Of course, there are spaces where, especially in the era of business, where there's a lot of Indian people that are in charge, because I think that's how maybe the racial like distribution is around here. There's a lot of people from India that are here, that are creating businesses and have been here for generations and generations, kind of like Durban. But I still really get the very strong sense that your blackness is not a huge disadvantage in the world of business over here. Love that. Another thing, it really feels safe to me to be here. Like, just a practical example. So when I was driving, I would be able to leave my handbag on the front seat and drive around town and all of that, and not feel like I'm gonna get carjacked. If I saw somebody do this first, and be like, my heart was like, what are you doing? They're gonna break your window and they're gonna take your bag, and people are just like, what are you on about, fam? What are you on about? And truly, it took me, I think I got here, I was in and out between May, June, and I settled in around July. It took me from July maybe up until September, October to completely feel a relaxation in my nervous system about driving in the country, despite the fact that the driving is a little bit, the driving is wild, okay, the driving is crazy. I'm not, girl, it's not one of the things I like. I don't like the driving, but the fact that you as a woman can feel more or less safe, you know, moving around, navigating town and not feeling like threatened. I don't know, like I just don't feel like I'm vulnerable as I was in South Africa. And I really appreciate that. I really appreciate the fact that I'm also feeling safe in my home. There's days where I've literally slept with the key hanging on the door. I've literally slept with the key hanging on the door, and I woke up in the morning and I just took my key and put it in the house like nothing happened. But granted, I do live in the buildings where there is security downstairs, but even in South Africa where you do have security, there is still the danger because you're living in South Africa. And whether the security man is there or it's not there, you will see the consequence. If you're from South Africa, you'll be like, what? There's a place that's safe? Girl, there is nothing more peaceful than being able to sleep without that sinking, I don't know what the feeling is in your neck, with like a tightness in your chest, because you don't know whether you're going to wake up safe or whatever. Like when I was living in the previous apartment, so I stayed here for 3 months before my husband came. In that 3 months, I was so nervous because I was alone. Like I would sleep at night alone in this massive 4-bedroom house. And like I would lock every single door, and I would lock the door of the laundry that leads to another door outside, like just to make 100% sure. Then I would lock my own bedroom door just to make sure that I don't get attacked by anyone. Now, I mean, the only reason why I close my door is because we have a live-in helper. But if we didn't, I wouldn't close my door at all. That's all. So like the feeling of safety is so refreshing. Like it feels so good to be able to just be yourself and to just enjoy your home without feeling threatened that things will be taken away, or people will break and enter and hurt you and all of that. And this is something that happened to me in South Africa. When I had my home in Vanderbilt Park, they broke in 3 times. I was in the house twice. 2 of those times, and it's just the violation, you know, that you feel when somebody does that. And I mean, I was living in Maboneng. There was just that emptiness about it, besides the noise. And then there was also a time when our car got broken into in Maboneng, and they took everything, all our camera equipment, all our laptops, clothes, even, like everything, fam. Everything that was in the boot taken. And we were parked in a relatively safe place where there was a car guard. Broken the window, and then they got in and they grabbed what it is that they wanted, everything in the boot basically, and they went off. So in South Africa, I used to have personal insurance, because even after that break-in, I think I lost 2 laptops, 2 work laptops. The first one, obviously, I wasn't insured, and then I was just like, you know, I need insurance. The second one, I was insured, so thank God that one was covered, so I was able to be paid out for that. But like, these are realities of living in South Africa. Like, it's not, it's super unsafe. I mean, I don't know. That's my reality of how living in South Africa was, and I'm grateful to be in a country where these things are things that are so far away from people's minds. I mean, I even think about the fact that on campus, when I'm in the library, like, people just leave their laptops on the tables, go to the bathroom and come back, and nobody's expecting anyone to take anybody's anything. South Africa, girl, you gotta pack your whole bag. The only thing that you can leave is invaluable things like textbooks and books, you know, even pens. I mean, I don't know, girl. Being in South Africa is just an extreme sport, to be honest. Another thing I love about Kenya, So the fact that I find that people here are super warm and friendly, in the sense that, like, when you meet on the street, they're super welcoming. They love when they hear, like, oh, where are you from? And you're from South Africa. Oh, that's so great. I went to Table Mountain, or I went to Soweto, like whatever. People, Uber drivers have a lot of stories. And besides Uber drivers, it's just anyone that you meet, and they're just like so super interested in the fact that you are South African, and you know, super welcoming and super warm. I love that. I know that South Africans also are well known for that, and it's just something that has continued. I know that South Africans are super friendly, we're super welcoming to people that are not of color. Let's not let's not talk about that, okay? Or maybe we'll talk about that in another one, because it's a big fat topic, that one. Big fat topic. But anyways, South Africans are women friendly. Most of the time South Africans actually just like abelungu, wazungu, white people, you know, foreigners. But like when it comes to black foreigners, we're just like, unless you're a black American, or diaspora from, you know, another Western country. Another thing that I really love about Nairobi is the fact that it's super friendly to expats, and it's like a global space. I have met so many people from everywhere around here, and there's a lot of international schools, which just goes to show the fact that there's a lot going on here. There's the UN, and like I told you, whenever a multinational global company starts companies, like offices, normally they go South Africa, Kenya, Nigeria type of thing, you know. And so you will find a huge expat community over here. If you're South African, you will definitely find a bunch of other South Africans over here. I've made friends with a lot of South Africans. In fact, I was with a couple of South Africans this past weekend, and at a party with the friends I keep, as you will have seen. And I'm really just, you know, happy that I can be in a society where it's okay to be different and you're welcomed as a foreigner, right? Another thing that I like about that especially is that because of the fact that it's so global and it's so expat friendly, and there's a lot of interracial couples, and of course I am in an interracial relationship with a mixed race baby, and so there's a lot of kids that look like her, and it really makes for your existence as a mixed race child to be easier when there's other black moms with white dads and, you know, mixed race babies around you. Like in her playgroup, for example, when we went for the Parents' Day, oh, it was so cute, y'all. When we went for the Parents' Day a couple of weeks ago, I met a couple of couples that were the same as me and Boyana, and it's just really cool that we get to see a lot more of that here in Nairobi than we saw back in South Africa. I just love Kenya for the fact that Mana will have her own, like her identity formation will probably be a little bit easier, you know? And also where it's not seen as a problem to be in an interracial relationship. It's not like gawked at. People are not like, you know, super interested, but in a negative way. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's something that I really appreciate about being here. Number 8, I love that consumerism is not a thing here. Okay, let me not say it's not a thing. Of course there is consumerism, we're westernized, whatever, yada yada yada. But people are not so consumeristic as they are in South Africa and Nigeria, maybe even. Like, first of all, Kenyan people are not too like fancy in terms of the way that they dress. We go to the mall, fam, it's chill.com. It is Netflix and chill.com at the mall. We are just dressed like so easy, so straightforward. There is no, like, we're not dressed up to kill. And I love that. I love that. I love the fact that people take it easy and they don't take themselves way too seriously when it comes to the way that they dress. When it comes to the way that maybe they even interact with holidays like Easter, holidays like Christmas, there's you can see that there's effort being put behind the fact that yes, it's Christmas, but it's not so consumeristic that it's like pushing people to the point of overspending and competing with each other and stuff like that. Look, maybe I'm not in those circles, but what I'm seeing from where I'm at is that it's not that much of pressure from the commercial spaces to push people to consume in that sense. Yeah, I think, and I don't know if there's another way to put it. If you've noticed the same trend, if you're living in Nairobi, if you're an expat, South African expat, or even any other expat from any other country, let me know if you know what it is that I'm talking about, and you can leave it in the comment section down below. Another thing that speaks to the fact that consumerism is not that high is also like you can see that people are not eating that much, like in a, I don't know how to put it, fast foods and all of that. Like people do eat fast foods, but I feel like they eat it in way more moderation than in consumerist countries like South Africa, the US of course, and other countries that may struggle with other things like obesity and stuff like that. I'm just, as an example is that whenever we buy like takeaway food, it's very rare that you'll see somebody sitting in public eating that food. It's almost like, I don't know where people go to go and eat. You know how when you buy like a samosa or whatever from the deli in the shop, and then as you're walking out, like you're walking and eating it, I am hard pressed to say that I've seen a Kenyan walking and eating. I don't even know, maybe it's like a cultural thing. Explain to me if you're Kenyan and you know what's up. Because I don't know, like I was like, wow, like I haven't seen Kenyan people just walking around like eating and walking and eating and walking. Ice cream, people sit down, eat their meal and continue with life. And along the same line, number 9 from consumerism is the fact that there's no like intense materialist pressure in terms of like what car you drive, I know it's a big thing in South Africa, and I remember, I do still have a dream car, but it's just not a big deal here. Like people buy cars and have cars for purposes, like it takes me from A to B. Cars here generally are older types of cars, and it's not like so fancy models and all of that, and like the cars are like the cars that people that have cars have. They are Range Rovers and all of that stuff, Mercedes Benzes and BMWs and all of that. But I mean, if somebody's got a car, then it's like a Prado, I don't know, for me, because in South Africa the pressure, it's getting worse by the year. Like you've got the pressure to have these German machines, whereas here it's not as much, and I love that about this place, that I can make a decision that I actually don't want to have a car, and it's not shunned upon. It's not like, whoa, why don't you have a car? What's your problem? I just find that interesting and I like it. Number 10, I also find that there's nothing that you cannot not find here. I know I've done a double negative, but there's literally nothing you cannot not find in Nairobi. If you want something, you just need to Google search, you will find it. You will find, I promise you. And I feel like there's more here in Nairobi happening and more available than there is in South Africa. It's crazy. For example, like the floating experience that I'm going to be vlogging soon, next Saturday. We're gonna have another floating experience. It's the second one, if I haven't posted the previous one yet by then. But like that floating experience, I saw it on a US television show, and the next thing, it's right up here in my backyard in Nairobi. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? I love it. I love it. And then the last thing I love also is the fact that I find that traveling around this country is so much easier and more accessible than it is in South Africa. There's a lot of travel agents, they have beautiful packages, they make it super easy for you to explore all the different corners of this wonderful country. There's like so many types of travel that you could, or so many types of destinations that you can find. There's beaches, beautiful beaches, okay? There's beaches, there's the Masai Mara, where there's the safaris, and it's just grand, it's glorious. And there's like the desert area as well. There's more safari areas in the Amboseli side. Like there's a lot to do, and it's actually super accessible. And I think that is so fabulous for me, because it's like in South Africa, maybe I was traveling before there was money, before I had money. I was trying to travel before I had money. That's why it was difficult to travel in South Africa. But I find that here in Kenya, it's so much easier to just, even for like the equivalent of like 2,500 net, it will get you tickets to get to the coast, stay in a hotel for 2 to 3 nights, eat all inclusive, like your meal, everything, you know, all of that included, and then transport back for 2,500 rands. I don't think I've ever seen a package like that in South Africa, and I've done so many of them here in Kenya, because they make it just so easy to explore the country. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you on Vlogmas, whichever day it is tomorrow, guys. I lost track a little bit. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate it. And I hope that you consider moving to Nairobi. It's a really wonderful city, and well, if you do, definitely do hit me up. Follow me on Instagram, DM me and be like, Ofenza, I'm in Nairobi right now. Please, let's hang out. I'm more than happy. More than happy, until, of course, I do the globe-trotting thing and move on to the next country. But for now, Nairobi it is. We are loving it here. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Love you.